Recently, one of the biggest, if not the most popular anime YouTuber right now, Gigguk, had his entire channel demonetized. The reason for this was reused content. This is a phrase that you're gonna see a lot of in this video. There is a huge problem going on right now in the anime community, and I'm very surprised that nobody has broken this story yet. We all know of the increased copyright problems on YouTube as it affects every YouTuber who uses music or video footage. And there's even been cases of YouTubers whose entire video has been claimed because they simply hummed a song.
I wanna ask you, is it true that this video got claimed for this part, and therefore will my podcast right now be claimed?
Oh, yeah, it did.
Actually, I'm not going to play it, but you guys were singing.
Yeah, Living on a Prayer claimed it. We just literally said Living on a Prayer. But I have so many instances where I just say a few words and my videos get claimed.
It's worse than it's ever been.
But this is deeper as it targets the anime community as a whole. We're not talking about one video getting claimed by some corrupt company. We're talking about entire channels being demonetized, deplatformed, doxxed, and sued. Gigguk makes video essay format content where he reviews, criticizes, critiques, and talks about overarching macro level comments on anime as a whole. It's completely fair use, and that's exactly why the law is there in the first place. If you're creating any type of product, you want people to talk about it. Your worst enemy, if you're a producer of anything, is silence. What you want is exposure, so you want people to review your product or show or whatever it is, because it in turn gets viewers to come to the content in question and gives you views and traction. So eventually, after enough noise was made, Gigguk had his channel reinstated and remonetized, but not after a loss of days, if not weeks of revenue from his channel. It's like going to work and your boss saying, you still have to come to work, but I can't pay you this month. The reason this is so concerning is for many of us, like me, this is our livelihood at stake. This is my full-time job. Now, Gigguk may be one of the most popular anime channels, but there's tons of others, which we're going to talk about here, especially for some reason fan animators. My friend, the notorious Luke, who created a series called Dragon Ball Deliverance, and he spent years on it, he couldn't even get monetized on his channel with 100,000 subscribers because YouTube said that his content was reused content. There is literally nothing reused in his videos. He doesn't trace, he doesn't use pictures or video from the shows. He literally hand draws everything from scratch. E. Lordy, an incredible Dragon Ball animator whose animations are so good they've even fooled the Dragon Ball community a few times, was demonetized for not being in line with YouTube's policies. Reiji, who's another incredible animator who created the viral video Goku Turns into Super Saiyan 5, had his entire channel demonetized for the exact same reason, and he has 100,000 subscribers. UHG Animation, who produces tons of viral videos. Here you can see he got demonetized for 2 whole months for reused content. Why pay animators pennies on the hour when you can just pay them nothing at all? Animation Rewind, with 650,000 subscribers, he had his entire channel demonetized. He was freaking out on Twitter. This is his livelihood, and I don't blame him one bit. After he made enough noise on Twitter, I even helped retweeting it and tagging Team YouTube. Eventually his channel got reinstated, but he went at least a week, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks, without any pay. Not to mention, not just getting paid, but that overbearing feeling of stress and anxiety. You've built a business and a channel from nothing, and it has become your livelihood and your job and your baby. And then you wake up one day and you see an email from YouTube, oh, you're done. I mean, I personally live in a state of constant anxiety because I always have that feeling that I could wake up any day and have an email that just says your channel's demonetized or just terminated. And it's scary as hell to live every single day under that level of pressure. Smiten, 4TW, another awesome fan animator who does these really hilarious Naruto parodies, he can't even get monetized. Now, all these animators are friends of mine, so they're the ones that I know of, but there are countless more. Somehow, I managed to dodge all of this. I have an angel on my shoulder, and I'm super thankful. But it's extremely scary, right? Like, I'm a father, my monthly expenses are insanely high, and if I got demonetized even for 3 weeks, that's taking food off the table. That's diapers and baby wipes and daycare and all sorts of expenses that I have. Like, it would crush me to not have monetization for a few weeks. So there's a huge trend here, particularly but not solely for animators, because YouTube thinks that we're simply re-uploading the shows. They can't differentiate between fan animation and the actual anime. Especially, it seems, if the animator goes for realism and not some wonky parody look. Even though it takes far more skill to actually try and draw and mimic the actual anime in your fan animation, that actually puts you in jeopardy. So the more skill you put into your artwork, the more you're in jeopardy of getting shut down by YouTube because they can't tell the difference. However, this doesn't end there. There's so much more going on here. The next one is for covering manga. Recently, manga publishing company Shogakukan, they just targeted a variety of YouTubers who cover manga, ordering them to hand over their names, addresses, IP logs, and financial information. Now, I looked through these YouTubers that they have listed, and many of them are literally just pirates. They literally just upload every single page in a video, no commentary, no criticism, no editing. And yeah, that is piracy, and I do believe in that respect, they totally should go after those people who are just straight up stealing. They're spending tons of money and hard work to publish and create these manga chapters, and then as soon as they release it, some guy remotely halfway across the world just uploads and distributes the whole thing on YouTube. So I can totally understand how pissed off they would be. I would be too. It can destroy their business. Now, the problem is that Japan doesn't have fair use laws like we have over here in the US. Their copyright system is very different. So providing commentary just simply isn't enough in most cases. But there is something here in the US that not a lot of people understand. Fair use does not protect you if you're depriving the copyright owner of income. Meaning, even if you're talking over the entire chapter with criticism and commentary, that doesn't mean it's fair use, because somebody could simply turn off the sound and watch your video and literally get the entire chapter for free. That's something that not a lot of people understand here on YouTube. A lot of people think that as long as I'm talking over something, it's fair use. That's not always the case. There's a reason you can't just upload a 2-hour movie and just talk over it and it's fair. That's not fair use. That would mean that they don't need to watch the actual movie and spend money on it in theaters. So it's not fair use. In fact, with fair use, the less of the original content you use, the more you're probably going to win in court if you're battling under fair use. I'm not a lawyer, but I've done a lot of research into this fair use law, and I know for certain that it is a gray area and there's so much confusion surrounding it, and most people think they know how it works, but honestly really don't know how it works. Another manga publishing company, one of the most popular, Shueisha, not too long, I think it was like maybe 6 months to a year ago, went on this copyright striking tirade where they were just destroying channels that were reviewing manga, and many of the biggest Dragon Ball YouTubers on the platform were threatened to have their entire channels terminated because they got 3 to 5 or more copyright strikes at one time. Now, they fought those DMCA takedowns and they won, and their channels were reinstated, but it was really scary. And now it seems like Shueisha is back. My friend and another Dragon Ball YouTuber, Unreal End Gaming, with nearly 600,000 subscribers, recently got 3 copyright strikes for covering fan-made manga by Shueisha. Now, Shueisha doesn't make this manga. It's just some fan artist who created this. Unreal End Gaming is reviewing and talking about the chapter. So this company that pretty much has nothing to do with the content in question is trying to delete his channel over it. For fan manga, so because of all these issues, covering manga on YouTube is pretty much dead now. And I understand that these companies are struggling hugely with piracy. It is literally destroying their business. So they're just taking down anything that resembles piracy. They don't differentiate and they don't care. Now, similarly with anime footage, many of us do these video essay type content where we talk about a show, we use short clips, but even that is not safe at all. It's widely open to copyright takedowns and it can threaten the termination of our channels. YouTube can't differentiate between fan animation and actual animation, so those channels are in the crosshair of reused content. The main culprit in all of this, the reason why all of this is happening, is the pirates, the people who re-upload entire episodes and manga chapters to social media just to get a few subscribers or make a cheap buck. The companies that produce this stuff are struggling to remove it all as fast as possible so that they can actually survive, because this is what's hurting them more than anything. The problem is that it spawns faster than you can take it down. It's so easy for people to just click a button and download an entire episode and then re-upload it to your channel. So as soon as one person distributes it, it spreads like a virus and it makes it almost impossible to take it all down. Now, remember the main issue. Are you depriving the company that produces it of money from what you're doing? Re-uploading episodes and chapters of social media, contrary to this argument that a lot of people like to use, it's free promotion. It's not promotion. It's simply taking money out of their pockets. Now, if you do reviews and criticism and commentary, even if it's negative criticism, that is free promotion. That is why fair use is there in the first place. But when you upload the content in its entirety to a platform so people can view it, that's not free promotion. So it seems the only way to get away with covering anime content now is just simply talking to a camera for 10 minutes, like I'm doing right now, with no music, no footage, no screenshots, nothing. Channels like Tekking 101, Sawyer 7 Mage, and Chibi Reviews, these guys have been doing this for years, and it seems to be working pretty well for them. And I think in the long run, they may be the only guys who actually survive on this platform. Now, YouTube is under constant threats from a variety of music and publishing companies because they're trying to argue that YouTube is hosting a platform for these pirates to distribute their content. Thus, YouTube gives these companies all the power that they desire because they don't want to get sued. So YouTube gives them all the power that they desire, whether legal or reasonable, to manage and monetize creators' videos on their behalf. This is also why you don't see anything anime related on the trending tab. YouTube can't differentiate between creative content and piracy, so they just choose to ignore it all. Don't show any of it on the trending page. Don't share it. The last thing they want is to get accused of putting something on the trending page that's flat out piracy. That's why if you ever do see anything anime related on the trending page, it's this guy. Never reviews, never commentary, never fan animation, never criticism. So moving forward on YouTube, how do you be an anime YouTuber? Well, you just sit down, talk to the camera like this, no music, no screenshots, for 10 plus minutes of video. Either that or do some makeup tutorials. I hope you guys will share the hell out of this video because this is something that affects all anime YouTubers. Somehow I haven't really been affected, but the reason why I'm making this video is for all of my friends who have been affected. I mean, as I've showed you in this video, countless people that I know that I'm close friends with have all had their channels demonetized or close to being terminated or etc. And it's just horrible because we are creative. There is a gigantic anime fan base out there of people who flock to YouTube to build up this community, and it's in danger unless we make enough noise.